You talked to your dad recently?
Why?
Give us a call.
So where did you appear from? Oklahoma? Yeah, I've never been anywhere but here. What were you doing with that big girl?
Get a lot of crazy-ass foreigners, mostly. How's it going, guys? This here's Jackie.
Hi.
She needs a job. Says she'll do anything.
Yeah, you like guns?
Not really.
What the fuck you doing here, then? A bit more powerful than a punch, huh?
Fuck yeah.
Call me when it's done.
What is this place? Huh? You don't understand. Get back in the car.
They found a body.
Looks like you've got your hands full.
You'll regret this.
We'll just need to fight back. I'm gonna tell them everything you ever did.
FBI, open up.
Are you threatening me?
Yep.
Well, that was really stupid, honey.
I'll never fall in love, okay?
Hello, welcome to Movie Umpers. My name is Bob Sham.
I am Angela.
The sounds here may be dogs, and it is Movies Are Gay this month, all gay long.
All gay long?
All gay long. It is our second annual Movies Are Gay, in which we talk about LGBTQ movies that are made from or about adjacent to the culture, sometimes observational, sometimes directly. And we haven't talked about many movies from 2024 this year.
No.
This is only the third one we've discussed, and it's June. And I've kind of got us booked up, but we may have to figure out some kind of catching up at some point, probably maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some interesting movies coming out, and this was one. You know, we love some crime. We love a little scuzzy movie. We love some noir. We
love some hot lesbian sex.
This is on our third lesbian movie this month, and I'm happy to say that finally we got a lesbian with a pet because Lou has a cat. All right,
yes.
And the fact that we're three lesbian movies here, and like there's not one dog. Not one pit bull?
I didn't even think about that.
Where is there? There should be like 3 pit bulls for every lesbian we see. And like little small dogs too, right? And, but yes, this movie directed by Rose Glass. It is her second feature film. It is called Love Lies Bleeding from this year. Written by Rose Glass and Weronika Tvilska, starring Kristen Stewart, Katy O'Brien, Ed Harris, Dave Franco, and Jena Malone, amongst many others. I don't know if y'all heard that while I was reading the fucking... My dog
sure
is just banging a food bowl.
Come through as much. This is a great cast.
Yeah, definitely.
The cast is put together so well. Ed Harris in this role.
Where's he been, right?
Dude.
We get some Ed Harris. He's like... he owns a gun range. Is the gun range named Louisville, or is the town Louisville?
I don't know. I think the gun range probably.
I kind of want to think that the town is Louisville.
A lot.
Lou owns this little desert nowhere town.
He owns the cops.
This was filmed in New Mexico.
He owns the gym that Lou Jr., who's a girl, Kristen Stewart, works and manages this.
She's Louise.
Yeah, but
she's not technically a junior.
They call him Lou Sr.
Yeah.
And she's Lou.
But she has never left.
Technicalities.
She has never left this little town.
Jena Malone is her sister.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a... This is a movie of like, where have you been?
I know.
Jena Malone.
If I didn't know Dave Franco was playing
he plays
her husband, I would not have clocked him. He becomes this person.
The Francos can play some douchebags.
Some would argue they are douchebags.
We don't know about Dave.
But James
got a little reputation out there. And it's not just a reputation as an overrated director.
No.
Which should also be his reputation. But yeah, apparently he got into some hot water, sex pesty kind of stuff.
Yes, that is exactly the word.
But Dave, not my man Dave.
Not that we know of. Dave, we like, but he does do a good job playing a real shit guy in this.
His unwashed rat tail that he's got, that's all spread out. He's got like the worst rat tail mullet. I had a mullet probably around this time.
Sure.
That this movie came out. It's like 88, 89, something like that. So a lady rolls into town. Jackie, as played by Katy O'Brien. She's fucking Dave Franco in a car. Well, she's getting fucked by Dave Franco in a car, but it's an arrangement. She is homeless, and she is
trying to get a job.
She's trying to get a job at a shooting range, but she hates guns.
But she's going to be a server. Lou Sr. owns the gun range, as you said.
She's bi. We know that, but she probably leans more towards women, as we discover a little bit later. Well, she's on the run, and she's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And she's, like I said, she's homeless. And there's a one point where she contacts her family, but the mother calls her a monster.
Yeah, a kid answers and is excited to hear from her.
Like a sibling.
But the mom answers and says, "You're a monster, don't ever contact us again." But what we learn about her is that she's been hitchhiking from wherever her home is. She's trying to get to Vegas to be
in a bodybuilding competition.
Yes, in this bodybuilding competition. And that's her whole goal. They don't make a big deal about her being homeless, but you just see her being herself. It's a really interesting picture of what that can look like.
She has a sense of confidence about her. But she's also just very driven in what she is doing, specifically bodybuilding.
So she goes to the gym.
Where Lou works and runs the joint, and they wouldn't say love at first sight, but they seem to definitely be into each other.
Lou is lust at first sight. Jackie walks in, and Lou's jaw about hits the floor.
Also, this movie is so scuzzy. Like, she's cleaning up like a shitty toilet. The
Got
whole
her
town
hands
is scuzzy.
in some, shit, and this girl with meth teeth.
Who
Grace,
is really obsessed with Lou, and you could tell they probably hooked up, but Lou does not want to be with her.
What's up, Daisy? Was wondering if maybe you wanted to meet up later. Go to Winkies.
Oh. I gotta help Beth with some stuff. I gotta help her. It's boring.
Poor Lulu. Always looking out for her sis. You gotta remember your own needs too.
And so Lou gives her some money, and she says, "You don't have to do that." And Lou says, "It's okay. Just take the money, just go."
Everything is dirty, even though you're rude. Even the points when they get together as a couple and they start to make love, like they really go into. They're trying to spread each other. Like they're trying to. It's just so weirdly, relentlessly dirty in this movie. And when we discussed Noir Month, one of our favorite topics, we did encounter gay characters there that maybe weren't explicitly gay, but the thing about gayness as showing up in noir movies, probably more than anything, is that it was representing an aspect of an underworld, right?
Yeah.
Something seedy. And that everything is seedy here. Even the lesbian characters have a troubled past. But the difference is that now it's these lesbian characters are at the centerpiece of it, as opposed to them being just like bit characters that someone has to buy a fucking gun off or drugs off.
Right. They are the movie.
But Lou gets attached very quick. Classic. And they form a relationship very quickly. And she introduces her. Maybe Jackie knew about it, but she gives her this steroids, some type of human growth hormone, testosterone, something like that.
Au naturel, baby. Right? Your body, your choice. You want to do a little bit? I think 150 is kind of the smallest dose you can do, and
She's never done this before. But Lou is trying to woo her. Like, she wants to have something.
Like, look what I got.
And Lou lies and says, oh, this stuff's like everywhere. Lou is spending her money on these steroids for Jackie. The first night they hang out, Lou sticks her in the butt with the steroids, and immediately they start fucking because you get this adrenaline rush, right?
We got a lot of lesbian sex scenes, especially with last week's feature of Watermelon Woman, which we were very kind to.
Which was much more sensual.
I may have to pull that down to a 6 point something.
Sure.
We were very nice to that movie. That movie got a 7 for its sex scene alone, essentially. And there's also a charm to the movie as well, but we were very nice to the movie. But it had a lot of amateurish acting, stuff that maybe should have been redone, but you get it. There's no budget. You can't reshoot a lot of things. And all your friends aren't actors. But in this one, everyone is an actor, and everyone is seedy and gross.
Everyone is seedy and gross. Everyone's got something going. The same night they meet, and they end up back at Lou's house. They fuck. I wouldn't even say the sex they have is dirty.
Dirty, maybe not the right word, but it just...
Animalistic. It's raw. It's...
abrasive almost.
I did have the thought, when was the last time Jackie showered?
Yeah,
I had that thought.
I thought that
and that's
too.
What I understand what you mean by that part. Literally, wake up the next morning and Jackie says, can I live with you? Lou is a little hesitant, but realizes, yeah, of course, because what else are you going to do? And I really want to spend time with you. And they very quickly are together. Lou finds out that Jackie is working at the range and says, my dad owns that place. You don't need to work there. Don't work there. Don't work there.
Lou is alluding that her father is a bad person, which we catch real quick.
Yeah, he's smuggling guns. He's got all kinds of businesses.
But we get these little flashback moments, especially surrounding Lou, in which shows her executing a man that is blindfolded.
Mm-hmm. And we keep seeing imagery of this ravine.
And her mother has been missing for like a dozen years.
Yeah, 12 years.
She suspects that her father did something to her, but it's not verified one way or the other.
I don't think Lou's ever been able to admit to herself what she knows happened, because Jackie says to her at one point, your mom died, and Lou says, no, she's just not here. And I think Lou's been telling herself that for 12 years because she doesn't want to believe her father killed her mother, but he kills people who are going to talk on him.
Well, the father, even as we get to the climax of the movie, he still says that she just went off because she couldn't handle being my wife and your mother.
Yeah, he never admits it.
I think there is a possibility here that Lou's mother really did run off. It alludes that we're never, like Lou, we're not sure.
No, we can't be sure, but there is a part of Lou Sr. that you don't leave him.
Yeah.
You know? You don't leave him.
It doesn't seem like many people can get away with disrespecting him.
Things that she probably knew. And they do talk about at one point, Lou was basically his little sidekick.
Yeah.
They went around together. Lou.
This is this also references that maybe Lou's own history, that she's maybe done some things that are not good.
She also talks about how she's never left this town.
Which is wild.
She agrees to go with Jackie to this competition. And so we're working up to that. And we learn immediately when we meet Lou's sister that her husband beats her. And again, it's not spelled out immediately because you know. And they don't have to tell you. And I appreciate that in a movie where it's truly, there's plenty of context clues, but it's not overbearing. She has a sling on her arm and her lip is busted.
So, yeah, JJ is played by Dave Franco. Again, he plays a great scumbag. He beats the shit out of Lou's sister, and she's in the hospital. And that's when we see Big Lou and his daughter together for the first time.
And Jackie's there, and he has this moment where he looks from one to the other and just goes, and walks out. He doesn't comment, but he obviously knows, oh, they're together.
When Jackie at one point is prying about the relationship between Lou and her father or mother, she's like, she kind of wonders, is he mad that she likes girls? Is it because you're gay? And she's like, no, he doesn't care about that. And she goes, oh, well, that's kind of cool, at least, right? Like, she's trying to hang on to something, but he's just bad in a different way.
You have to...
He's not a moralizing presence.
Exactly.
He's
and maybe that's what her
stone-cold
family
killer.
is.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's why her mom thinks she's a monster, is because she bodybuilds and likes to fuck girls.
And JJ also works for Lou Sr. as well. He's like a right-hand
they're
goon.
all in together.
And Lou Sr. is saying that the only reason he doesn't want to kill him is because he knows that his daughter, who he beat the shit out of,
would not want him to be killed.
that to happen.
But she is in an abusive relationship and she forgives him constantly. At one point, Lou says to her, he doesn't deserve to live. He beat you. We all know he beat you. And you just take it. And, you know, just mad. And the sister says to her, you don't understand anything about love. To which I say, the sister doesn't understand anything about love. There's a dinner where the four of them go to dinner. And I don't even remember what she does. She spills something.
I love a dinner where you go to dinner.
Okay. They all go to a restaurant, is what I meant to say. There's a dinner where they all go out to a restaurant. And something happens and Jena Malone spills something and immediately goes into I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. It's okay. I didn't mean to. And she tries to help clean him and he's like, don't touch my fucking dick in the middle of the restaurant. Like, he's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
And when he leaves and Lou goes after him and he gets so pissed, that's when he tells Lou, you don't need to fuck around in my business. You need to ask your girlfriend about when I was fucking her for a fucking job at your daddy's gun range, right? And then that night is when he beats her sister into the hospital.
Right.
And she and Lou have it out. And this is the night where they have the sex where, so basically Lou's trying to stop smoking this whole time. She's always listening to these tapes and shit. And they go back to the house and Jackie is brushing her teeth. And Lou comes in there and she's smoking. And Jackie says, I thought you were trying to stop. And she's like, this is different. And then she gets down on the floor and she does say, she's like, I'm going to stretch you. Here's what I think. Lou was made
it out, right?
Stretch it out. Stretch it out. I'ma stretch that pussy out.
Yeah. Lou is made to feel vulnerable. I mean, that is a thing that people do, but you kind of got to get there. It's like a process. And so I think that Lou in that moment wanted to be in control of Jackie. So to me, when you mentioned that as part of the dirty sex, it was more to me, it was hot, but it was very controlling.
She's literally being her, I literally want you to be my hand puppet.
Yeah.
Jackie, who is all keyed up on the juice.
Oh yeah. There's little moments where you see
yeah, which is really wild and cool. Flex moments that are something's, the movie doesn't maintain, but there are these moments of hallucination throughout the film,
and
which is really interesting.
How she feels more than what's actually happening to her body.
Well, Jackie goes all juiced up and fucking bludgeons Dave Franco to death.
Kills him.
Destroys the lower part of his face, broke his neck just smashing him.
The makeup and effects in this movie are horrifyingly good. This is not a horror movie, but rivaling the shit in horror movies because the bottom half of his face is attached but dislocated from the rest of his head. And there are moments when, they throw him in the truck later because they're going to go get rid of his body, or throw him in the car. His jaw, unhinges.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting
Visceral.
and good, and they don't, zero in on it, but it's just enough that, it makes you feel it in your guts. It feels uncomfortable and gross and real. So good.
So they wrap up his body and go out to this canyon that just looks like what a canyon is a big crack in the earth. And,
it's like a ravine.
And they roll him. Well, when they're taking the body, her methed out crush sees her driving JJ's car. It's a small town. Everyone knows each other.
And truly is why is that big girl in your truck behind you?
Right, and
she
they're following.
Wants Lou.
So they roll this car with JJ in it, and then they drop a Molotov cocktail down the ravine.
After they've already put a bunch of gasoline on him, too.
And so it's smoke, it's burning, and you see it billowing out as they stand there. A really cool shot.
Yeah.
Lou explains it as like, they're going to find this body. They kind of talk about like, oh, they knew they were going to find the body. But down there in that ravine is not just JJ's body. It's a lot of bodies, a lot of corpses that could be connected to her father.
Jackie says to her, because Lou gets kind of weird there, right? Lou gets kind of excited by the fire. She has this like weird shift that happens when she's standing there, and Jackie looks at her and goes, what is this place?
There's a point where they're being playful and she's doing like pull-ups or something. And then Lou takes out a lighter and rubs it under her feet. Like there's these little moments that Lou does that is like, she's kind of unhinged. She has
She's seen some shit.
She has an aspect of violence inside of her.
The other reason that she doesn't leave this place is she says the only reason she's never left is because of her sister, because she's trying to take care of her sister. But she feels trapped by all of it, and her father won't kill him. And so literally Jackie does it. Lou actually gets mad at Jackie because it's like, now you're a murderer. And now you can't go to your competition. We have to lay low. And Jackie makes a really good point. She says, I was always going to the competition. Why wouldn't I go to the competition?
And Lou is trying to postpone the conversation. She's insistent that she stays. But at some point, Jackie just takes...
Because Lou locks her in the house.
The drugs that she supplied, and she breaks out of the house. And she's gone. She goes to Vegas.
She tries to get Lou to go with her, but Lou refuses. Jackie is so hyped. This is a moment where she gets in a van. She is hitchhiking again. And she gets in a van and just happened to be a lucky van of hippies that were just smoking
that weren't
weed,
going to try to
and they
fuck
didn't
her
try to
or
do
kill
anything
her,
to her. When she wakes up the next morning, I thought we were about to go into a terrible scene, but we didn't. They had took her to literally the hotel she needed to be at. And so they get her out, but she's like sweaty and grody, and everyone around her is bright-eyed and like warming up, and she's walking through like...
She feels very unconfident, and then she hallucinates seeing Lou.
Fucking get it.
Up first, all the way from Oklahoma, Miss Jacqueline Cleveland.
And then she starts to do her flexes, and she's getting response from the crowd, but then she fucking vomits.
She starts hallucinating all kinds of shit.
And she sees some other bodybuilder girl call her fat, which don't know if that's a hallucination or if that happened.
Too much fatty.
Yeah, and then walks over and starts beating the fuck out of the
multiple
chick.
Girls.
And Jackie states that she was a fat kid growing up.
Yeah.
So she could have hallucinated someone saying that to her, like, you don't know. Because she's
someone could have been being a bitch, but yeah, you really don't know. Yeah.
But so she gets arrested for breaking someone's face, and who comes to bail her out? Well, she couldn't get a hold of Lou, but she got a hold of her father, who managed to show up.
She tried to call Lou, but Daisy, or whatever her name is, was at Lou's, because Daisy basically said to Lou, I could really tell the cops that I saw you in
driving JJ's
car that night. And so
she's blackmailing her into a relationship.
She has to fuck her. So she's like, she answers this is a beautiful shot too. Like, Daisy's naked from behind, and she picks the phone off the wall. I don't know when this is set, but it feels like the 80s.
88.
And
88, 89.
She picks the phone off the wall and says, don't ever contact her again. She's with me now. She doesn't want anything to do with you.
When did Die Hard come out?
I don't know.
They referenced Die Hard, and that's why a lot of people are starting to go to the gym.
Oh, I didn't catch that,
it's about 88 or 89.
Okay, cool.
And there's a part where George H.W. Bush is like making a speech.
And there's no cell phones. Lou doesn't know that Jackie got arrested.
Well,
but Lou Sr. is
Lou
who she
Sr.
calls
goes
next.
and bells her out, and he's like, I didn't come here because I liked you, but y'all are in a lot of trouble. Jena Malone is mad at Lou because even though her husband beats the shit out of her, he's dead, and Lou did have something to do with it.
And you have a fucking witness in this Daisy chick, so here's a gun.
It has Daisy walking through Lou's apartment, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, they're going into.
And all of a sudden...
I'm not. This isn't. I'm not. Huh? What the fuck are you doing? Fuck.
She gets fucking shot like through the head and drops. And there's Jackie holding the gun, runs off. Lou Sr. got Jackie, and Daisy is the only witness. So that's the person that Jackie had to kill. So now Lou is having to bundle up and hide this body to protect Jackie.
So
and
she's
also
now hidden 2 bodies for Jackie.
And feds are all over the place, and they're always talking to Lou, wanting to talk about her dad.
Where's your mom?
They're
We
in the
can't find your
apartment
mom.
when Daisy's body's behind the couch and the cat is licking up the blood and shit.
That was so gross and such a good detail.
Lou wants to run off with Jackie and basically drop the dime on her father, essentially, for all the shit he's done.
So this is at her dad's house. So Lou goes to his compound. Her sister is there. There's this random woman in this movie who's constantly taking care of Jena Malone's kids. We don't really meet her. They say her name at one point, but when Lou shows up at the house, that woman is putting the kids in the car and driving off, right? Because some shit's obviously going down. So she and Jena Malone have a big argument. You're mad that your husband who beat you is dead, and I'm only here to try to help you. And you know what? Fuck you. Where is my girlfriend?
Right.
And she tells her she's back in this house. So she goes back there and she unties her. And
she's
then
like in a storage, like an outside.
Yeah, they call it like a fish house or something. They end up on what looks like the middle of a tennis court, and they're on their knees and just facing each other. And Jackie says, "You don't love me. You got with that girl immediately." And Lou says to her, "I obviously love you. I only did that to keep her from talking. I've hidden 2 dead bodies for you. I love you." In that moment, she tells Jackie, "You run." And she takes the gun and she's going to go kill her daddy. But daddy gets the jump on her.
Right. And she's already threatened to go to the cops, so he's like, it's pretty much death sentence.
Yeah, she says the feds are going to be here in a minute.
So they're in a compromised position. It looks like it's curtains for Lou, but the juiced up fucking Jackie, we see her muscles almost like she's hulking out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we see Jackie is suddenly the fucking 50-foot woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's giant. And she's holding Lou Sr. down while young Lou has the gun in his mouth.
And she's broken his legs. Like, she's, like, breaking him
And there's a
into
point
pieces.
where you think Lou is going to kill her father, but she doesn't. And then there's this scene where Jackie is giant woman wearing her bodybuilder lady outfit. It's kind of like a purple sparkly. And Lou is running alongside her in like kind of this matching.
It's like a sports bra with
this
a
matching
little bit of glitter.
Sports bra with some glitter
through the
on
clouds.
it.
Or running
Like
through the clouds.
Like we're seeing this image of a fantasy that might be a fucking drug-induced hallucination.
Yeah.
And they're running off. They're running away. And it seems as though Lou maybe turned a corner. You know, she thought she was maybe going to have to kill her father, but there's some redemption in which she doesn't. And then it cuts to them running. And they have Daisy's body in the truck. And,
the cat is in the truck, and they're leaving. They're getting the fuck out.
And then the body rustles. And then they realize, oh my God, like she took a shot in the head, but not through the brain or maybe not the neck. Mm-hmm. Daisy is somehow still alive. So they go out there while a Marty Rev song plays, and the redemption is immediately thrown out the window because Lou, with a hand around Daisy's neck as she's too wrecked to even do anything about it, strangles her to death, and then she's dragging the body off into the desert. Jackie is asleep in the truck.
Jackie's asleep in the truck with the cat.
Lou is still protecting her.
Lou gets like 20 feet from the car, dead girl at her feet, and just pauses and lights a cigarette.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
She is not, she does not kill her father. You think it's a redemption scene, but you don't have much
the hope is
love
that
for
they're
Daisy.
Done killing, though.
You know, she's an addict, but she is.
What else are they gonna do?
She is also blackmailing someone into a relationship here.
They had to get rid of her body because they can't explain it.
It seemed like they probably should have.
They could have dumped her at Daddy's house.
They should have, yeah.
Because his plan.
They shouldn't have been.
They shouldn't have had her in the truck anymore.
No.
His plan was to frame Jackie for JJ and Daisy.
Yeah.
That was his plan. That's why he had her there tied up. He has a friend who's a cop. Oh, he actually sent his cop friend to kill his daughter at one point.
Yeah,
like,
they kill
were
him.
Done.
They end up killing him too.
Yeah, so he died too. I want to talk about her getting big. There was a moment when it happened, and pretty sure I said this out loud, and I apologize. I'm trying to talk less during movies. She got real big. Again, I thought it was like when we're seeing her like pop, 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 pop. And it is. It's a fantasy. It's in her mind. It's how big she feels. It's how powerful she feels. And how Lou sees her in that moment as being like this strong woman who's going to protect me. There's a really tiny, tiny clip early on when they have television on and it's black and white and it's that Gulliver, I can't say that word either.
Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah. So you see this image of a giant person holding up a tiny little person. So that image has been implanted in your brain, and then that influenced her in her testosterone.
They also saw that as well.
They did. It's how they felt more than what's real in that moment.
When strange things happen in a movie, I often choose to literalize it because it's just more fun for me that way. But no, I think our instincts are correct. A feeling of how they see each other and perceive each other, and also drug induced, and the high that they get off of each other and around each other. Yeah. And I actually thought it was kind of a cool idea, and it made the experience of this movie feel a little different. But I love a crime movie. I love a neo-noir movie, and this is a good scuzzy lesbian neo-noir.
Would it have been better if it ended with them running through the clouds?
You know, maybe. The thing of not killing her own father, it seems to be undone when she kills Daisy.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, yeah. Like, maybe it could have been something a little better if it didn't have that last bit. And I don't think that last bit was too bad.
No.
But it did seem a little extraneous.
But after that, it's like we've gone up to this place, and then it like back down to the ground. Which is what happens when you come off of a high, for sure. I get that too, the metaphor of
we
that.
should have left on the high, left the movie on the high.
I think so, because in that moment, Jackie has become larger than life, again, because she feels that way, because that's how Lou sees her, and then she essentially pulls Lou up there with her.
I think that's a good point. I think it would have been a little better if it ended on that.
Because they didn't need anything but each other.
You would have known that it probably isn't going to work out long term, but it's in that
either
moment.
way. I think that, you know, exactly like you said, it's
the father's still alive. He's going to be pinning all this on them. But that is Love Lies Bleeding, directed by Rose Glass, and you're going to give this 1 through 5. I'm going to give it 1 through 5 combined for best out of 10. I'm going to give it a 3.75.
3.5.
Take a peek at it at the 7.25s. Love Lies Bleeding by Rose Glass shares the rankings with movies like Gozoo, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Deep Red, and The Killers from 1946.
This is an excellent
when a
space. Those are all great movies.
Any movie that's a B and up is a recommend. Yeah, if we hit a B, we're saying check it out, you know.
I think about Killer Clowns from Outer Space a lot.
One of the great campy horror movies. But that is Love Lies Bleeding. We actually decided to talk about on our cruising episode, I had mentioned that we were going to discuss Boys in the Band.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that Friedkin directed Boys in the Band. And we're already doing 2 Fassbender movies this month. So I decided to replace Boys in the Band with Love Lies Bleeding. Something a little more current as well. And we had been wanting to see this for a bit.
We missed it in the theater.
We'll have to do a makeup on Boys in the Band. Maybe we'll stick it in on a non-gay theme month if we can figure it out where. Yeah. But yeah, Boys in the Band, we'll talk about that someday. But since we had already had a Friedkin movie, we decided to do Rose Glass's Love Lies Bleeding.
Because this month is gay, but really every month is gay.
So like, subscribe, check the show notes for links to other places to find us. Leave a comment. If you're listening on pod, leave a comment where you can. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment here. Love Lies Bleeding, a good modern neo-noir, and you're gay. You're gay ass.
Movies are gay, and so are you.
I'ma take my time, don't rush me. When I stretch it out. Stretch it out. I'ma stretch that pussy out. I'ma stretch it out. Yeah. Stretch it out. Stretch that pussy out. I'ma stretch it